Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Hayashi. Welcome to our dojo in Mannheim, Germany. This is a video lesson for my karate students, but also for anyone else on YouTube who finds this interesting. The topic today is the meaning of MEI. MEI is a very specific word in the Chinese and Japanese languages, and also the symbology of this gesture, which is very common in the Chinese, Korean, and Japanese martial arts. So let's go back 3,500 years to the Jia Gu Wen. Jia Gu Wen is the oldest written form of the Chinese language, in English called the Oracle Bone Script, because it was originally etched into bones at the time. And these ancient words were pictograms. So if you can see this symbol here, this was the ancient symbol for the sun between 1500 and 1000 BC. This, of course, is easily recognizable as the ancient Chinese writing symbol for the moon. And here a comparison to the modern Chinese and Japanese. It's the same in both languages. The word for the sun and the moon. And now if we combine the sun and the moon together, sun and moon written together in one word, we arrive at the word in Chinese Ming, or in the Japanese pronunciation MEI. Now, the historical significance of the Chinese Ming Dynasty from 1368 to 1644, it was a very prosperous and long period in Chinese history, considered by many historians to be the longest or the greatest era of orderly government and social stability in human history. So it was a good time for China when it was a world empire. At the end of this era, the end of the Ming Dynasty in 1644, when the government was overrun by the northern Manchurians, who then began the Qing Dynasty, the refugees of the Ming Dynasty, they had to run. Many of them went into hiding, became refugees, and many of them, being educated scholars and also martial artists, took refuge in the Shaolin Temple. And many of the rebels at the time, who were supporters or belonged to the Ming government, then began to identify each other with this hand symbol by placing the right fist against the left hand, which in Chinese is called Bao Chuan, the covered fist. Now again, this symbol is forming with the hands the word Ming or MEI. The sun is on the right, the curved moon that goes around it on the left can be seen in this hand representation of Ming or MEI, the Bao Chuan, covered fist. Originally began as a way of symbolizing that they were supporters of the old government, but then became adopted into the Chinese Kung Fu traditions as being a salute, a way to begin their forms, to show respect, to say thank you, sorry, or again to begin a mortal fight to the death. This tradition has been carried into the Okinawan and Japanese karate traditions. But first I have to also explain the literal translation of this word. The meaning of Ming or MEI translates as brightness, which is very logical. If you combine the sun and moon, it means bright in terms of strong light. It can also mean educated, enlightened, of a higher state of mind, or with a pure character. That is the meaning of MEI. So, with this symbology of light, we see in the Chinese Kung Fu traditions, they usually still have some form of this with a left hand and a right fist. The meaning being that when you close the fist, the four fingers coming together, that it is one brotherhood in which all are equal. That all within the four C's in the ancient thinking are equal. Of course, the polarity of the yin and yang, the passiveness of the moon, and the force and power of the sun, This being a symbolic gesture that someone who is more highly developed in terms of his character can temper his need to fight by covering aggression. So it can be translated as war and peace, covered aggression or controlled aggression, peaceful intentions. Okay. The same gesture we see within the karate traditional kata. Jion, jite, ji-in, as some examples from the Shotokan traditional katas. Empi, which starts over here. Basai, basai dai, again, which has held at a lower position than the hand over the fist. And even the older versions of naihanchi, or the teki kata, where we begin with the left hand over the right, but some older Okinawan schools had the left open hand over the right fist. Now, there are other metaphorical meanings of this Ming or MEI. When we translate in Japanese, sun is hi. The moon is tsuki. If we translate the word MEI, which is made of these two words combined, we can also read it hi to tsuki. Hi meaning sun, to and tsuki, moon. Hi to tsuki means sun and moon. This is a word play which also refers to hito tsuki isatsu. Hito can also mean one, tsuki, fist. So hito tsuki, sun and moon, which means MEI, or hito tsuki, one fist, isatsu, one kill. Meaning philosophically that the difference between life and death for the attacker and defender can be decided in one strike. Now, let's fast forward to the modern times. From the symbology of MEI, this is the, I've just drawn in marker on some old boxes. This is the symbol of the Meibukan, which is one of the Okinawan branches of Goju-ryu. As a secondary style to my Shotokan, I began learning with the Goju-kai, and then with the Meibukan and the Okinawan Goju tradition. It is exactly the same word. And even the name of the style and the style's founder, Mei, means brilliance. So Meibukan being the school of the enlightened or spiritually pure warrior. And again, normally in red, if we combine the red sun with the silver moon, we then have the exact same character MEI, but in staying consistent with the symbology of the sun in the Japanese sense, the rising sun should have the upward position. Okay? Which, if I zoom into the my karate-gi top, brings us to the symbol of the Japan Karate Association, or the JKA, the Nihon Karate Kyokai. Okay, so that's just a brief explanation for my students of the meaning of this, and of Ming or MEI. Thank you.